Good morning. Psalm 40 verse 1 says, I waited patiently for the Lord. He turned to me and heard my cry. I just want to look at that first sentence. I waited patiently for the Lord. I don't find that patience is a virtue that I hold very strongly. I'm just so often impatient. And yet when it comes to our relationship with God, when it comes to answered prayer, when it comes to seeing breakthrough that we'd love to see, sometimes what God is calling us to is patience. In the process for us as a church, in terms of looking for a city center building, as we've prayed about it as a church and really cried out to God, God would love to see this happen. As we've looked at a couple of buildings, we've really felt like God has been saying, wait. And it's another way of saying, be patient. And I just find that difficult sometimes. It's like, God, I think this would be good. I think this should happen now. I don't know why you're delaying on this. This is good that this happens now. God, I'm praying for this, or I'm praying for that, or God, I want to see this happen, and I believe you want to see this happen. God, we pray for breakthrough. And sometimes God calls us to wait and to be patient. And like Psalm 40 verse 1, where it starts off, I waited patiently for the Lord. I wonder when you wait for God. I wonder when you're going, hey, I think God speaks. In fact, I know he does, and I need an answer. Okay, God, will you give me an answer? No? Okay, well, I'll carry on with my day then. I just think for my own life, and I think for many of us, we're not very good in waiting. We're not very good in waiting patiently. We want to quickly move on, and we live in a world where we're so easily distracted, where there's so much going on, like we spoke about a couple of days ago, where our phones and our TVs and our iPads and our computers, our laptops just so quickly can deliver us information whenever we want, and we can suck it up, but we find that it affects our ability to be patient and to wait. And yet in our relationship with God, there's something about patience. There's something about waiting on him, going, God, I've got nowhere else to go. I can go and YouTube a great sermon. I can go and look up a kind of inspiring quote. I can just go and look at the news or catch up with Facebook. But I find like, man, those things don't feed my soul like you just speaking to me. I need you to speak to me, God. I need your presence. I need to, as I'm opening the Bible, God, I'm waiting for you to speak to me as I read this stuff. I'm not just going to rush on, God. I'm waiting patiently for you. When God isn't answering prayer, are we rushing on to the next thing, or are we thinking, well, God doesn't care, God doesn't know, and we rush on? Or do we go, okay, God, I need you. I'm going to wait for you here, God. Because God does hear us. He does turn to us when we cry out to him. He doesn't always answer in the timing that we would like, but God is never far away. He's never distant. And God will turn to you and hear your cry. God will be there. And I just want to encourage you to grow in patience and to be a man or a woman who waits on God. God bless you today as you wait patiently for God.